Wow, this is perfect. First off, I, long story short, I attempted to record a video earlier, and here you go. There's the chicken with his confirmations, as with his Gemini ass. Okay. At first, I recorded a video to giving a reading. It was pretty good, right? But then all of a sudden, you know, I think it's because of the update that I did on my laptop itself, that with the new OS software, I don't know what happened. Okay. I don't know what happened, but the sound was just so like you barely could hear it, right? So I don't know if that message is for me or something, but I'm not putting it out there unless I actually have found a way for the audio to work. Then by all means I'm gonna figure that out if that's possible or not. But if it's not, then unfortunately this reading is not gonna come out. But if it does, you'll at least get the rest of the message, right? Because the message itself is pretty interesting, and it follows with the theme of the notes that I've wrote, or technically the point or the note that I wrote down, because for my assumption, I thought that I've written 3 notes for this reading, right? And it turns out that I only have written 1, which is so weird, because I'm like, because I already figured, and I really assumed that I have written down more than 1 point for this reading, especially for the downloads. I was right! Because for some reason it's not showing on my desktop, but it is showing on my phone. Okay? See, downloads created February 15th. I swear to God, at this point, like, I feel like people need to start showing the receipts like this. This is the kind of world that we currently live in. I'm sorry, like, if that's the truth that you unfortunately have to accept. Receipts that we think are provided from the past are the same receipts that are not enough to be provided for in the future. So it's time to start considering newer ideas. If this message resonated with you for some reason, take it. This is a timeless reading, by the way. Take what resonates, again, leave what doesn't. And let's go forward with all the downloads that I've written down, and then we'll get into the reading. So, let's go. So, let's get started with the first one, which I actually brought up in that previous reading. Maybe that's why the reading still didn't go through, because it's like, that's a part of the message, but it was not the entire message, right? And there were 2 other points I knew I wrote down, but like it was not showing up or updating in the notes app that was on my laptop. See, this is why I also am planning to get myself a fuck ton of journals, because I don't know if this is a message for somebody. I know it's for me, because like I'm already switching it up either way. I already got my wish list prepped, like the money's coming through. Like I just got the wish list prepped. I might as well say this. If you want to protect your thoughts, even if it's something as simple as the vulnerable, what the hell is going on with me right now? A lot of good things, but anyways. So, the vulnerability in your thoughts, if you really want to share the vulnerability in your thoughts, especially like how you're feeling, whatever, if you need to like throw up your thoughts into something, but because there's more restrictions that has to be put into place when you do that through ChatGPT, or when you do that through even your notes app, because the stuff that's been going on lately with Apple, Windows, it's time to switch things up, right? And if you feel called, get yourself or selves, I don't know which part of the future you're at, or if you're in this present moment right now, or if you're in the present moment from certain types of parts of the future. But I'm telling you, if you feel called, get yourself journals. Get yourself journals. And you can write whatever the fuck you want to write on it. Okay? As long as the intention is purely for your growth, purely for yourself. Right? Because remember what we talked about from the last reading. When it comes to integrity being the new gold. Are your feelings and your thoughts and everything else, do they automatically belong to the World Wide Web first? Or do they belong to you? Do they belong to you first? That's one question that I need to ask. And that wasn't even a part of the points that I wrote down in my downloads, okay? So that's how you know this is probably meant to be recorded rather than the other video, because we're really going to get into it with this one. Okay? So let's open up the downloads now. So, the first one, to believe is to be living. Okay? To believe is to be living. Okay? To believe is to be living. There's a reason why in the whole wheel of the zodiac, there's a reason why Pisces meets with Aries. Okay? There's a reason why Pisces meets with Aries. Pisces is the sign of, well, we all know Aries is the sign of I am. But I think, I know this is controversial. Yeah, I believe. There you go. I believe. Yes. There are two signs that are meeting each other. One of them is the representation. One of them, Pisces, or Pisces, I would say. Maybe since you're looking at me like this. Pisces. Let's start with that. Since Pisces is a sign of I believe. Okay. And Aries is the sign of I am. The wheel is not the wheel without those two closing together. Okay? And what makes them close together? The fact that the belief and the person adopting the belief connects. To believe is to be living. If you have taken the past couple of months, even if it's from the future, okay? It could be from the future. This is a time when Saturn and Neptune are going to conjunct tomorrow, okay? This is the 19th right now of 2026. If you're like many years ahead, like, you know what those times were, okay? You can look it up. But whether it applies from that time or this time, if you have for the past couple of months, especially the past, I was going to say 2 months. Yeah, 420. The time is 420 right now. 2 months. Some of you might be pot smokers. It's okay. I love my weed too. You know, we welcome the weed peoples up here, okay? I always welcome the people who love cannabis and who use that as medicine. I feel that. Look, I even have a deck called Pot Tarot, okay? Yeah, like, you guys are more than welcome here into this corner of the internet from this diabolical as fuck Aquarius. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just saying here, the wheel can't close without those two connecting together. Without the acceptance of the beliefs you chose and how those beliefs play out in your day-to-day life decisions. If those past couple of months you're like, you know what, I don't like my fucking reality the way it fucking is. If it takes as something as changing what I believe in my day-to-day life, or what I tell myself in my day-to-day life, if it takes all that to get to the type of present moment I really desire, then I'm just gonna choose to fucking believe that, and I don't care how people perceive me, right? Now, we're literally a month away from Uranus experiencing the final degree of Taurus in April, okay? And entering into Gemini on April in the same month. And all the crazy other aspects and transits and patterns and for that month, okay? Between Aries and Taurus season, okay? And I swear I must have talked about this for the other readings too, about Aries and Taurus season. If you've been working on your beliefs, you're on the right track. If you're so conscious, aware of that fact that you're like, I'm going to change my beliefs to be exactly the beliefs or the statements that I would make if I was in whatever the best dimension of all dimensions, whatever version it is for you. I know I keep talking about this, but honestly, with all the shit going on in the news, why not choose to believe that? Why not bet on yourself at this point? Like, we are entering into this new world anyways. Shit is not the same anymore. Your degree does not matter if you don't serve people. I don't know why I'm saying that. Your degree does not fucking matter if you don't serve the people. Like, you could be a fucking doctor. You can be whatever the hell that you are, that you have put so much effort into learning. But if this is not about the service for others, who is it for? Who is it for? Like, there are people on TikTok with those degrees that are actually using those degrees with the purpose of that, with to serve. Okay? It may matter if they have the degree, but it matters even more in terms of how one uses it. If you're not serving others with it and serving for others with it, then what are you using it for? What are you using it for? Be 100% honest with yourself. Can you tell that Saturn and Neptune are connected to my moon right now? They're conjunct with my moon in the 9th house, conjunct the 10th, my MC. I'm going to keep on going with my next 2 points, and then afterwards we are going to get started with the reading. Are you excited? You're probably not so far. You're probably just like, oh my god, this is already getting too much. Holy fucking shit. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing is too much. Well, okay, maybe there's some things that could be too much. But when it benefits you and you love it, whatever it is, nothing is ever too much for you. Like, look at my decks. Okay? Look at my decks. As you can see, as you can see with this collection behind me, okay? There's never too many decks for me. I'm sorry, I think you might have seen the spit. But anyways, there are never too much decks for me, okay? There are never too much decks for me. Like, there are never too much supplies for me for art. Like, there are never too many songs. in my playlist. There are never too much anything related to these things. Like, when you love something so much and you're so passionate about it, there's never too many hours. There's never too many hours to put into it. Like, that's how you know you're in the right place. You know, like, even like tools, like as like a doctor or like dentist or something like that, there's like special interests, like, or things connected to that, or other things that, you know, if it benefits you, and you know, but you know, there you're getting into so much, but you're in the state that even though you're getting into so much, it's like it does, you could keep going, then keep going. Okay, that's your sign. That's your sign. Now, also, the fact that this week we had like the solar eclipse, okay? Before that, Saturn entered into Aries on my birthday, okay? Then it's the solar eclipse, the sun entering into Pisces. And then 3 religions with 3 different calendars are celebrating their holidays, like Chinese New Year, like Lunar New Year, I think is more specific. I don't know. I might be wrong. Ramadan, and I'm not sure which. It's like a Catholic holiday. I'm not sure which one it is. Let me check. The liturgical year. Yes. The liturgical year. I think that's exactly what it's called, which is very interesting. The fact that they're all aligning all at the same day or the same time is pretty incredible after 169 years, right? And so I love this for my birthday, first off. Like, so I'm not like overwhelmed or anything, but this is a time where this is a global experience for all of us right now, to come into awareness about so many things coming up. Like, to be aware of so many things coming up, and it just keeps adding and adding and adding and adding and adding, until when you start accepting certain things, newer things come into the picture. And when newer things come into the picture, newer forms of awareness comes into your mind, which then creates a newer form of awareness that renews your mind, which then becomes a newer experience around you with the newer awareness that you have, and the sources around the newer experiences that are impacted by the renewed awareness of your mind from the other awarenesses that shared what they're aware about with you will bring even more awareness. And you're just gonna be like glowing like that little sun from like the Teletubbies or something, you know, like you're just I'm actually so serious. Like, this is all coming through to me right now. Like, this is however you're going to be gaining these insights, which then increases your awareness globally in whatever area. However you are going to accept certain awarenesses, things that are being brought up, is up to you, which affects how not just you move forward, but how everything loads in front of you like a screen. And let's keep going with the second note so then I don't lose track. Now, the next one. Take your time. Don't put shit behind. Don't forget to unwind and repeat. I feel like that should be like a lot of people's mantras right now, because it's one thing to make sure you keep up with your shit, but it's a whole other thing to put aside the fact that you're human and the time can be taken, like, you know, even though ChatGPT takes seconds to take their time, they still choose to take their time. Like, they're not like, you know, you're not sending a question, they're like, I need an answer right. Well, I mean, they are robots. They kind of function differently. But that's the point. You function differently as well. You load the answer in your mind in a certain way where, like, you know, you work differently. But that doesn't mean that you are not an intelligent, incredible specimen of a human being in this entire Animalia kingdom with the type of conscious and awareness that you have, even though we do have to also accept that there are animals that we might not even have any fucking idea about, probably until now that AI is in the picture. We're going to find out more that it's not just us with conscious awareness. Which I'm so excited for. I hope it's cats. Because I've always want to learn about the epitome of a cat's awareness and their wisdom. Like, I know their brains are this small, okay? I know. But I don't care. There's just so much wisdom in them, in the depths, in the void of their eyeballs. Like, there's so much they're thinking about, and I just know it. There's a reason why all the Egyptians back then are just like, oh my god, the cats, because, like, they love them. There's a reason why Turkey loves the cats too. You know, I don't know why I said all that. Maybe that's like a message for somebody. But all I'm going to say is that these are the 4 things that, like, you know, it's important to repeat. It's important to be consistent. It's important to relax. It's important to be putting the effort and not putting it aside. And it is important that you not just work with time, but you work with the body that works with time, with the mind of the human that works with time. Okay? It's not gonna fucking make any fucking sense. But it's gonna make a lot of fucking sense. Maybe in a couple of days after hearing this. So, the third download that I have, and that's going to be the last one before we get into the reading, which now that I think of it, now I got to figure out what kind of fucking deck I'm going to choose. I will read this download here. If you want to do something so bad, but you can't because things are just coming up, so you're in that state of like, okay, sorry, I thought the recording stopped for a second. Okay, we're good. And it's, oh my god. If you want to do something so bad, but you can't at all because things are just coming up, so you're in that state of like, what if I miss the opportunity, right? If the opportunity is yours, it will stay no matter what. And in fact, I would even say, affirm that the opportunities that are yours stays. If you're that concerned, okay? That's just like my law of assumption take, okay? For anybody who's into that. If the opportunity is yours, it will stay no matter what, as long as you say so, right? It does not matter. Trust that you will experience the opportunity regardless. I don't know what opportunity it is, but I assume it's a good one, because from my previous reading, the cards I pulled out, I can at least tell you this. The cards I pulled out is from this deck. It's called The Journey. Because I know one of them's money. The other one is Awaken. And the third one is... The AMA thing. Ask Me Anything. Reddit. Like if this is a confirmation for somebody who uses Reddit, AMA, Ask Me Anything, or if you're a Reddit user, or if you know what the fuck that terminology means, it's time that you ask yourself anything. That's such a bar! It's time that you ask yourself anything. Even if it's quite the take, right? Even if it's quite the question to ask that maybe you're not even prepared to ask or answer, sorry. Or maybe you're the one that's asking. Maybe you need to pull an AMA to somebody else. Anyways, so as I was going to say, you know what? I'll take out the deck right now, quickly. But there's, so it's Money, Awaken. Let me take it out. And A New Day. A New Day. I will show you the cards, actually. At the very least. So. Here you go. Here are the cards. Yes, a new day, money, and awaken. Stay confident that the opportunity's with you. Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries are right at this conjunction, the new day tomorrow with you. Okay, so, and if you're already past that, but you're kind of you are at a sort of portal kind of like point, okay? Like if you're there and it's not the conjunction today, it definitely is from a time in the future where it is affected by the conjunction. I don't know what notes you've taken. I don't know, again, what audio recordings you've made, whatever important decisions you made that day. It's all coming back around. If you choose to, in your own awareness, it's making space for things to come through into your reality. The key is that it's already real and it is already a part of you. You see that green and the green in her eyes, or his eyes, but you see that? Okay. Now I'm gonna actually brighten up this thing a little bit. Okay. For some reason in this age of technology right now, expect yourself to invest in more space. Okay? Expect to invest in more space because of the level of upgrade and technology that we're experiencing currently. Desktop sizes, files were as small as the icon that represents the save file, right? It only saves such a small amount. It only has a small amount of space to put into that little floppy disk. And then it became wow, 10 gigabytes is a lot, then it became wow, that is a lot of space for a DSLR camera. And now people are saying you need at least 256 gigabytes to, if you are a content creator, at least 256 gigabytes. And back then we thought that 30 gigabytes is big. You know what the fuck I mean? I'm sorry, excuse my language, but because of the way that the technology of today is transmuting, it's going to require size. This book is exactly what I wanted to read from in the first place, and it is called Remember, Be Here Now. Okay? Remember, okay, there you go. Remember, be here now. Well, let's pick a page and see what comes up. Awareness, what would you like this collective to be aware of? according to this reading, this timeless reading, whether they see it now, whether they see it during this timeline, or even the timeline of the future, further, way further into the future, even if it's 9 years, even if it's 15, what would you like them to know? See what the hell just happened? You see? You see? And look what came up. First off, the first thing you see is there's a man. Looks like he's like a normal, like a human. And then there's all these angels. Like, there's like 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of them is giving this, seems like they're giving this guy a crown, right? The other one is holding that trumpet. The other one is witnessing the other angel giving him the crown. And there are 2 other angels. One of them is in affirmation and prayer, watching the other angel give the crown to the person, to the human. And there's the last angel that's actually watching over this angel that is affirming while watching this angel. You know what the hell I mean. You know what I'm going to say. Now, let's get to the actual words of what this actually says here. Okay? It says that psychosis business is an interesting business. Okay, let's read like this. That psychosis business is an interesting business. If you go through the doorway too fast, and you're, oh my God, we talked about the doorway with Saturn and Neptune. And the New Day card. Okay, here we go. If you go through the doorway too fast and you're not ready for it, you are bound hand and foot and thrown into outer darkness. Wow, interesting. If you go through the doorway too fast, that's why the taking your time aspect is very important. And you're not ready for it. That's why you need to take your time. Then you are bound hand and foot into outer darkness. Or maybe the best way to even say this is that it into the external. You know, you're too worried about missing out if you don't get into it quick enough. Okay? And oh my gosh, just as I said that, I see like a huge flock of birds flying together, and I see a dove actually flying with them. Oh my God. What? That is sick. Girl, you know, things always come at the perfect time. Okay? Now, let's continue. Oh, just as I said, let's continue. The alarm came off. Let's finish it off anyways. You may land anywhere, and lots of people end up in mental hospitals. Okay? Be careful. Don't go through the door too quick now. Okay? Don't trip yourself up. All right? Don't trip yourself up. All right? Like, take care of your mental health. All right? Like, that, I don't know who needs to hear this, but, like, you really need to take care of your mental health. Like, yeah, there are certain things that are signs, but not everything is a sign. Okay? Not everything is a fucking sign. Look, there can be signs in this reality, right? But to take every single thing as that, like, is a whole other scenario. It's the type of delusional that you do not want to be in. I think there's great delusion that you can have, but then there's delusion that could literally bring you to the hospital. Okay? And like, call on it, call that out. But to yourself especially, you really need to make sure. You need to be sure that you're not doing that shit to yourself. Chill. Okay? If you're not at the mental state even to even be listening to this reading, get out. Just for now. And in the future, when you feel better in your mindset and you look back at this video, the same video that you're like mentally not prepared for yet for whatever reason, you come back here, you're just going to be like, oh, that's why. Yes, that is why. Okay, so let's continue. They went through the door with their ego on. And wow. I've been invited to the wedding feast. See the delusion? But also, I'm not saying your ego is unhealthy, okay? It's just about how the ego plays as the center of the universe, okay? Because the ego represents the sun, right? How does your ego stand? How does your ego affect the rotations of your life? Okay, let's start with that. But it depends where your ego is at. If your ego is at a good place, then whatever you're going through in this door, you're being invited to something very, very celebratory. Okay? Very, very celebratory. I've been inviting, not even just celebratory. You're going out to eat. Okay? You got everything that you've requested from somebody to make for you, it's being manifested. It's happened. Especially when you affirm that in your reality enough, don't be surprised. Just don't be surprised. I mean, dig me. Sam Jones. If anybody's named Sam or Jones, or if you know anything or anybody that 100% you're just like, oh my God, what the... Like, yeah. That's for you, okay? They don't understand that you gotta die to be born. Now, people think like, oh my God, is it like to literally die? No. It's to transmute within. Honestly, there's so many different spectrums of the perspective of death that, for me, for my example, sometimes I have to experience that. It doesn't mean that you have to experience it that way. Some people experience understanding and acknowledging the many versions of death without ever having to experience their close loved ones passing away in the shortest amount of time. Like, you know what I mean? Like you that can be your reality, okay? You can affirm that for yourself. You can pray for yourself over that, okay? You can have that if you believe that with your heart. Mark 11:24, sorry. Okay, if anybody knows the Bible, like that's a verse, okay? I'm just saying, there are many ways. You really don't understand that dying doesn't just happen once. And it doesn't just happen at the end of like this physical existence. It continues. Parts of your mindset dies. Part of the old paradigms that take hold of your mindset, your nervous system, everything dies. That can also die. Okay? There are perspectives of death that has to be expanded here, okay? And it doesn't all have to come from a place where it is assumed of in the worst ways. Just for some reason I hear just like beauty, like just like beauty, like there are different versions of it, right? That only when you have been born again do you enter the kingdom of heaven, which is within you, by the way. You don't wait till you die. You know that, right? You know that that's actually a metaphorical meaning, that you can choose to experience the version of heaven that is what you want to experience in this reality, right? You billionaires made that happen for themselves. Why can't you? Why can't you? And honestly, that's another message too. Like, that person in your life, or maybe it's you, but especially the person in your life that should be fucking working on their shit with their family, has to start working within themselves first. Because if they can't work within themselves, then it's almost pointless to work through the pain within their own family or the family that they have abandoned. I'm sorry, because if they can't confront their subconscious mind about all the things that are even, let's say, evidently projecting in who they follow on their social media. Even people who they follow on the social media. Let's be 100% for fucking real about that. Then, by all means, if they can't make the step starting from there, not just starting from the family, but most especially starting from there, I feel like a man's energy, but it could be a woman's too, to be honest. It could be any of them. A non-binary parents. You know what the hell I mean? Like, it could be anybody. Then they gotta start within themselves. Because there's no way that shit's gonna get fucking healed. Even through the people they hurt. If they can't even confront the people if they can't even confront the subconscious projections in their own reality through the people they follow. Okay? Thank you. Now, that only when you have been born again do you enter the kingdom of heaven. So, they've gone in on the first round, and what happens is they go on a huge ego trip. Now, that the ego thing that I talked about, it could be a good trip, a great trip, or it could be a bad trip. And it could be one of the many bad trips in a row. Like, I make sure that trip is good. Make sure that trip is cruising, okay? It could be a huge ego trip if it's cruising. But if it's not cruising and you're just ego tripping, crashing out, even like, you gotta watch it, okay? There's a saying as well. And what happens is they go on a huge ego trip, and it's called the messianic complex. It's called paranoia, delusions of grandeur. Again, somebody must have like bipolar or something like that in this video. Consider what I talked about with the signs. Not everything is a fucking sign. Wake up. Wake up. Okay? Before you get yourself either the first time in the hospital or back, okay? You gotta really stay present. Because, or you gotta have someone else to take you with them. Because right now, like, your ego has to be in the right place. Whether it be in this time, according to this timeless reading, before the conjunction with Saturn and Neptune, or way after, it does not matter, okay? Now, the last part. Sam Jones in heaven. Sam Jones standing on the right side of the Lord, the higher self. By the way, the Lord is like a... You know what? I'm going to explain that later on, okay? We don't have to include that in this message. But Sam Jones standing on the right side of the Lord. There's the Lord, and there's Gabriel, and there's Sam Jones. Sam Jones is who Sam Jones is. Gabriel is who Gabriel is. I don't know if there's a Gabriel or something like that, or Gabe, or Gabriella. Hands off, Gabriella. Oh my god, I fucking love that song. Cat's Eye, if you're a Cat's Eye fan as well, this is your reading, okay? And there's Sam Jones. Sam Jones is Sam Jones, okay? You are who you are. At the end of the day, as long as you are in the best place within yourself, then wherever the fuck you go, and wherever the fuck you're led, is definitely going to be incredible. You deserve to experience incredible things in your life. And I'm gonna, if I'm the first one to fucking tell you that, I am the first one to tell you that. Okay? You have no excuse anymore to say, like, nobody told me that. I told you that. I told you that. Okay? Anyways, that is the entire reading. I'm actually quite surprised that I have to do a second reading after the first attempt. But I do have to say, though, this might actually be way better than the previous reading that I did. Because I thought I really got into everything. But this is the part right there. And I think that's why the eye is so emphasized from the previous reading. A new day is there. We know it's Saturn and Neptune conjunct. But most especially the money card, right? There's a reason why the eyes are so emphasized in that reading, is because you are who you are. And at the end of the day, as long as you are where you are at, that benefits you, that benefits your mind, that benefits your awareness, that benefits other people's energies. You're not harming others. You're not bringing harm, or especially to yourself. That trip that you're gonna have, the experiences you're gonna experience, like, get ready, especially for April, because this is gonna be unforgettable. Okay? Anyways, have yourselves a wonderful Pisces season post solar eclipse, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.